Hi, and welcome to Positive Relationships. My name is Irene Atia, and I'm a Christian counsellor. Today we're going to continue our discussion of men's needs and women's needs within a marriage. We spoke about the fact that men and women have distinctly different needs in relationships. We spoke about her first need as that being of affection, and that can be expressed to her in a number of ways, both physically and non-physically by her husband. And affection to a wife is important. In fact, it's her most important need. It conveys to her that she is in a secure and healthy and loving relationship, and allows her to be more available and more open and more honest with her husband. His first need, we spoke about sexual fulfillment, and we spoke about the fact that unfortunately a lot of wives don't understand or fail to appreciate the importance of sexual fulfillment for their husbands, because it doesn't always place in as a high a priority for their own needs. So we spoke about the fact that for a lot of husbands, sexual fulfillment is about satisfying his wife and about pleasing her within their sexual relationship. And when he feels that his wife is not satisfied or she is unhappy with their sexual relationship, that's when his need of sexual fulfillment is actually not met. And we also spoke about her need for conversation and communication. And we spoke about the fact that it's important for him and her to spend time together and to talk to one another. She needs that time from him where he can hear about her daily events, who she spoke to, where she went, what matters to her, because it's through that that she achieves a connection with him and intimacy grows within the relationship. We spoke about his next need as that being of having a playmate and a recreational companionship. We spoke about the fact that it's important in relationships to have fun times together, where a couple can go out and enjoy each other's company, whether it's having dinner or going for a walk at a park or skiing or going on a holiday. Whatever that recreational activity is, there needs to be fun in a marriage so that they've got those times to reflect back on. It's also important to have honesty and openness in a marriage. And we spoke about her need to be able to totally trust him. We spoke about the fact that in order for that to happen, the marriage needs to be a safe place for either of them to express their views. Both husband and wife need to be able to come to one another and say what they feel and what they think without fear of reprimand. So in order to get that need met, she needs to provide a safe environment. Honesty is always the best marriage insurance policy. We also spoke about the fact that men are typically more visual than women, and he has a need for an attractive spouse. We stressed the fact that this is not about size or height or shape or weight. This is more about how she presents herself, and that often comes from how she feels about herself, because a woman who feels positively about herself will often present herself in a healthy and a happy way. We want to focus on our next two needs today. She needs enough money to live comfortably, financial support. What do I mean by that? I'm not talking about wealth, and I'm not talking about great amounts of money, but having a standard of living that is higher than a couple can afford often places unnecessary strain on any relationship. It's important to note that this is not about living to a certain standard, rather living within the means that a couple has. It's also important to note that it's extremely rare to find a wife that would be content with a husband who chooses not to work or earn an income or study or do something in terms of improving himself and improving their financial situation or maintaining their financial situation. And although society has done a lot to move away from the traditional male and female roles, there still exists an inherent need for men to be providers in terms of being able to work. That doesn't mean to say that she won't also work and she won't also contribute. And in fact, a lot of times she may earn a greater income than he does. But what we're talking about is the need for a woman to see that her husband is actively participating in the financial contribution of their home. But it's important to know that the need for financial support is not met by workaholism on the husband's side. She wants someone who is balanced in his approach to their finances and his approach to work and his approach to his provision for his home. We want to talk about the next need now. His next need is domestic bliss, every man's fantasy, right? A need for a man to have that domestic bliss of a beautiful wife and clean house and and well-behaved children. Well, I'm not talking exactly about that. I'm talking about contentment and having a home that is calm and peaceful and enjoyable for him to return to. It's also important to know that just because his need is that of domestic support and a happy home, it's also important that he contributes to that. And men, when, as we spoke about earlier, are approached as part of the solution rather than the problem, they're far more likely to be engaged and to help where needed. So an equal division of labour when it comes to household chores can very much be achieved, where the home is a happy, content and peaceful place for both the husband and the wife. Thank you for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you next time on our next episode of Positive Relationships.